Hello and welcome to the Abundology podcast. My name is Renee Spears and I'm an abundance channeler and business mentor, and I help people be happy and have more money, love, time, and joy in their lives. I'm coming to you from a rainy downtown Portland, Oregon, and this is the weekly energy update for the week of October 11th, 2020. Every Sunday, I talk about how the energy is going to be for the week ahead, and I also infuse the show with some positive vibes so you get a little positive energy boost just for listening. And as we know and have experienced the past couple of weeks, actually, since the beginning of 2020, these are crazy, intense times, and we are expecting things to remain this way until the end of the year. So this week, we have the last Mercury Retrograde of 2020, and that happens on Tuesday, October 13th, and it ends on Tuesday, November 3rd, and it's in the sign of Scorpio. So yes, the last day of Mercury retrograde is election day. And yes, Scorpio is known to be an intense sign full of drama, but this retrograde isn't all about the drama. It's also a period of transformation on both a personal and a global scale. So whenever a planet goes retrograde, we get the opportunity to review and redo the areas of our life that planet rules. So while we may want to hold off on making any major financial decisions, and if you do have to make one, just make sure you go over everything with a fine-tooth comb and look for anything that may be unexpected in the future to come out. We could also correct and redo anything in our life that we aren't happy with. So since we are in transformation energy right now, let's take advantage of it and transform our lives over once and for all. We're going to take the do-over right now. This Mercury retrograde is in Scorpio, and Scorpio is like the detective of the zodiac. So this time could reveal some skeletons in your closet. For example, if you or your partner has been unfaithful this year, that may come out right now. We could also expect the usual technology mishaps, glitches, like texts go to the wrong person, your phone breaks, the internet cuts in and out when you need it most. So we don't need to panic. We just want to try and double check everything before hitting send. And build in some extra time into your schedule if you're traveling or you're relying on technology. And when it comes to romance, an ex or two may come back into your life. But this is a good thing because this will give you the opportunity to have closure for good. And you didn't need me to tell this or tell you this or astrology to tell you this. But these last few weeks before the election are going to be a wild ride. The fact that the last day of Mercury retrograde falls on election day certainly makes sense because the weeks leading up to it have already been messy. But when Mercury retrograde comes into play, there will be added possibility of delayed results, technology issues, and uncounted votes. So that's right. In a year where many voters are doing mail-in voting to avoid COVID, the planet that governs the post office is going to go wonky on us. So the astrologer Kara James was here, and we talked about election astrology earlier this week. So I put that podcast up on Wednesday of this week. So go give it a check it out because it's really good. She has a lot of fascinating information in there. But this Mercury retrograde cycle is going to be about exploring the depths of our psyche, our deepest motivations, our deepest intentions. So like we said before, secrets may be revealed. Unconscious traumas may be uncovered and remembered. So Mercury retrograde in Scorpio is a transit that offers this amazing healing potential if we're not afraid of meeting our shadow and we embrace the necessary transformation without fear. So once again, this is a time of transformation. Our lives are transforming yet again this year. Remember that no matter what transformation you're experiencing right now, the result is a better you, a more you, fully yourself. We have the opportunity to know and embrace ourselves like never before. We have an opportunity to live our lives exactly how we want to, without the expectations of others, or maybe expectations unrealistic that we had of ourselves. It's very empowering to know yourself and live life on your terms. So no matter what happens this Mercury retrograde, it's crucial to remember to have an optimistic outlook. So we could view the final day of a retrograde occurring on election day as a sign that it's the end of an era and it's the start of something much better. So as long as you try not to stress and you practice great self-care, like I know you do, we should kick this retrograde's ass. Shouldn't be a problem at all. On Friday, October 16th, we experienced the second of a series of 3 new supermoons that start to prepare us, oh gosh, here we go again, for the total solar new moon eclipse that happens December 14th. So a new moon represents the end of one cycle and the beginning of another 28-day cycle. So it's an excellent time to make a fresh start, turn over a new leaf, start a new project, set intentions. You can also question old habits, behaviors, beliefs as we start to now search for new, more inventive ways to make progress. So the Libra New Moon on Friday is harshly aspected by the 3 most challenging planets, and those are Mars, Saturn, and Pluto. So this could result in more anger, resentment, frustration, abuse of power. In the election on November 3rd falls within this moon phase. So you kind of are getting the idea of the energy that's out there. So even though you may or may not be feeling it on a personal level, society is feeling it. So if you're out there and things feel intense, they are. It's not in your head. Things are intense. As much as you can let it roll off your back and remain calm and balanced, the better you will do. But on the bright side, because I always like to look on the bright side of things, this new moon does align with 2 very fortunate stars, and it is trine the North Node. So this increases the karmic significance of this time. And it speaks again to the huge transformations that are happening. These are fated karmic times, meaning they are super, super duper important for our personal development and the changes in our society. This just isn't another time to just get through. This is a time to be brave and transform your thoughts and your life. Be the best version of yourself that you can. So this week's story is about my mom. My family owned a home on Whidbey Island for 40 years, and my mom was living there for a while, and she would walk on the beach every day. So she gets ready one day, to take the dogs down to the beach, and she puts the stuff in her pocket, the poop bags, keys, sunglasses, all the stuff you need for a walk. She heads out down the path to the beach. So on her way back from the walk, she notices that there is a neighbor that has this infestation of these giant tenting caterpillars on the trees in their backyard. And these caterpillars would eat all the leaves on trees and they would kill them. They'd like destruction 101. Everything in its path, they kill and eat, and the trees die. So my mom didn't know these neighbors, but she knew they were elderly and they had trouble getting around. So they never did walk down this rocky path to the beach. They just couldn't do it. They were elderly and they couldn't walk on rocks like that. So she knew that they would probably never know about this infestation of these caterpillars until it was too late and the trees were actually dead already. So she decides to go tell the neighbors. So she walks down to the front door of the house, walks around the house to the front door, and looks down and she sees her car keys laying there by the door. And she's totally confused as to why her keys are there, since she's never been to the door before. She's never really even met these neighbors before. But apparently the keys fell out of her pocket on the walk down to the beach and she didn't even know it. And another neighbor had found the keys and took them to the house thinking they might belong to somebody that lived in that house. So talk about instant karma. My mom makes the decision to tell these neighbors about the caterpillars and is instantly rewarded for that good deed by finding her keys there. We are in a time when karma and cause and effect are speeding up. Everything is speeding up, including the energy that you are putting out into the world. It's coming back to you much faster. So simply, this means if you want something good to happen to you, do something good for somebody else. Once again, if you want something good to happen to you, do something good for somebody else. We like that insta karma coming back around right now. So as always, thank you for listening. Think about how you can transform your life to become more you this week. We'll have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you next week.